And we are now again live, unless you're watching this on the taped version. If you're watching this on the taped version, you're not live and you can't communicate with us. You can communicate with us mentally, but not physically. So, got to have a little fun today. Got to have a little
Monday
fun.
on Tuesday.
It's Monday on Tuesday in a COVID 2020. So, life is wonderful. Okay, today we are going to talk about the text tool or the type tool, depending on which way you want to call it. I call it the text tool, but I guess Photoshop calls it the type tool. All I know is I hit T and I can do my typing. Don't be yawning, Mel. I saw that.
Busted.
And it's unrecorded too. And I'm not going to start over just for him. Okay, yeah, turn your picture off.
Never responds. I used to take it personal, like this is like last
Okay,
year.
let's go to share screen. And I'll go to desktop because my Photoshop's not showing up. Why is that? I do not know. And we're going to start with the type tool just to start playing a little bit, and then we'll get into some really cool stuff. T is the magic letter for that. You just hit T for type or T for text. And there's a couple of ways to do it. I just drew a box to start my type tool. Hit escape, Command Z to get rid of it, or you can just click in the middle and start typing. I like to know where I'm going to be typing at. So I just go ahead and draw a box for typing. So let's do that. Hit escape, Command Z to get rid of it, and draw a nice big box. And you can see the marching ants in there. That's how big my box is going to be, which means I can have some really big text. So we're going to start with "2020." That's pretty scary, isn't it? Okay, hit return or hit the magic checkbox up at the top to lock it in, and it's now locked in. I want to make it a little bit bigger, and the thing to remember, get that out of the way, is with the old version of Photoshop, you had to double click what you wanted to alter. Nowadays, you don't have to do that. As long as you're on the layer with the type and you're in the type tool or the text tool, you can make changes to it, such as, I want to make it red. Click OK. But I changed my mind. I don't want red. I want to keep it black. You can change the font. Just by dragging down. If you have favorite fonts, you can show your favorite fonts only, so you don't have to go through 5,000 fonts to get to it. I'm going to change this to the Impact, which is a fun font to play with. And when I go to my character panel, I can make all kinds of changes to it. I can change the font from the character panel. I can change the style of font if there is a change there. I don't think there is one here, so it's not on there as well. However, if I want to make it bold, I can click on the fake bold or faux bold, as they call it, and make it even bolder. I can make it italic. You can make all caps, or you can make small capital letters. You can make superscript, subscript, underline, and strike through. So if I click on this, it's now strike through, which is really cool if you're doing a Word document you don't really use it for Photoshop, but if you're doing a Word document and you want to show somebody, okay, we're making this change to the bylaws, we're getting rid of this, put a strike through, and then we're adding this, put it in italics, and everybody's happy. They understand what's going on. You can change the size of the type. You can change, if I had another line, with this one, you can change the distance between the lines, or you can just leave it on auto, and it brings up to where it was before. Let me get rid of this guy here. Pop, 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 pop. Close that again. I can make my font taller. So go to vertically scale and make it a taller font, and a taller font, and a taller font. And I'm going to have to move my box down here because it's getting too tall. So let's go. Wow. There we go. Drag it down. And we're going to make it even taller still. I want it nice and tall and skinny. Hit OK. And now I'm going to do the magic. Hey. Just one particular character. I just want that first zero. I want to play with that a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it a little bit taller. And now you have the 2020 giving you the finger. For those that haven't seen it on Facebook, that's how you do it.
Best logo of the year ever.
That is the logo of the year. That is 100%, no doubt about it. If I want to spread my text, I go to where it says VA, which I don't know what VA stands for, but it sets the tracking for the selected characters. They're already selected, so let's go ahead and spread it out a little bit. But I think it looks better where it's tight together. Let's go to 50. And smaller. And once you have the number highlighted, like right now, you can see that the 30 is highlighted. It's got the blue. All I have to do is hit the down arrow or the up arrow to make it go how you want it. So let's go -50, works perfect. I like that. Vertical scale we already did, which is this one. Baseline shift is right here on the bottom. And you can move it down, you can move it up just by shifting that around. And of course, the color change you can make there. And the horizontal scale. You can make this really fat, or you can make it really skinny. Let's make it skinny so it looks like it's giving you the finger, because that's the way 2020 has been all year long. These things down here, I've got no idea how they work or what they do. The FI on some of the characters or some of the fonts is for standard ligatures. I don't know, Sandra, do you know anything about that? These characters down here?
Is that the properties, or is that?
I don't know what it does. I know if you do fractions, it makes it smaller, but it doesn't work on this one.
Yeah.
They're grayed out, so I assume you can't use it on this anyway.
On this particular font, you can't use them.
Yeah, I think it's properties. I think they're properties.
It does something, but I have no idea. And you also see here, you have sharp, crisp, smooth, and strong. You've also got that on the top toolbar as well.
Right.
Sharp, crisp, smooth, and strong. So you got that. If you go to paragraph, you can change things so you have the full justification. You have left, center, and right. And you have full justification, which is not going to work in this particular case because I don't have a full line there. I'm going to leave it at center for right now. And you notice when I brought up my character panel, it also brought up the paragraph panel at the same time. So I can go back and forth between the two and make changes as well. So that's one thing we can do. Now, let's get into some really cool stuff here. I'm going to go into my text. I'm going to change to Arial Black. And I'm going to make a very large box. And you can see because I made changes to the text from before, my characters and paragraphs are all screwed up. So I'm going to go up here and
Reset.
reset. Where's my reset?
Go down halfway.
Reset tool
Up.
presets. Okay, never mind. I don't want to do that.
No, go up.
I know. Just hit the wrong one. Wrong one. Reset tool. Boom. Everything's reset now. Back to normal. Well, semi-normal. I've never really been normal. What I'm going to do is I'm going to type in the text 20, return 21. And I'm going to set it to center. And the other one needs to go to center as well. So for this to work, it works better that way. And we'll change it to a white text so you can see it. So Command A, Control A to select all. And down in my color, the hexadecimal color, I'm just going to hit FFF, changes it to white. Theoretically, you should hit 6 letters in there to make a color. FFF, FFF is pure white. 0000000 is pure black. And then everything in between. Okay, I need to change this back to Arial Black. And I'm going to hit return. I want to make this sucker huge. So let's go to here. We're going to type in, let's try 300 to see how that works. A little too big, huh? Well, let's take this down to 24. And now we'll make it bigger. Wow, they made it way too big. Let's go with 100, see if that helps. 200. That's perfect. No, it's not. A little bit more, 250. There we go. That's what I wanted to do. Okay, what I can do from here is I can select my numbers right here by hitting Command or Control and clicking on the T in the text layer. So I hit Command and click, and you can see the marching ants around the numbers there. I'm going to go down to the background layer, and I'm going to hit the mask and then turn off my numbers layer. And you can see what it did. It's now doing just the background. So I want to make my numbers a little bit bigger so that they stand out. That's not going to work. So Command Z, hit the oops key a few times. Let's make them suckers huge. these in closer together.
Hi.
And what you do is you just drag these critters around to make them nice and fat. You find the one that works for you. Too big. There we go. That's about as big as it's going to fit in there. And we'll do it over again. Command, click on the numbers. And we're going to make sure we're on the background layer. Click on layer mask. Click off the text. And now you have the background is pretty much just the numbers. And to turn the mask on and off, all you have to do is hit the space bar and click on the mask. If you hold the option bar, it just flashes through turning it on and off. And if you hit the control key will select. Command D to deselect, shift key, turns it on and off. There we have that.
How do you invert the mask?
Inverse the mask, Command I.
That's what I tried. It didn't work. Okay, thanks.
Yep, Command I just inverse the mask. But you have to be on the mask itself to invert it. And so if I turn the letters, go back up here, Command click, and let's invert the selection, Command Shift I, and put a mask on there. Now you can fill in anything you want in there. So if I put another layer in between, and I go to my gradient tool, and I've got a weird gradient selected. Let's go ahead and drag it across. Drag that down. Command I to invert it. That didn't work. Never mind. Every once in a while I try to do weird things just playing around, and it just, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. If you want to drag a mask from one layer to the next, hold the Option or Alt key, drag it, and it goes up. Let's invert that, so Command I. There we go. I needed to put the gradient on top. Kind of weird, but that's what I do. I do weird. So let's get rid of all those. Shift, trash, drag that to the trash, delete the mask, or back to where we started. Hit the text tool. And you notice I didn't get the lorem ipsum thing right now. The reason I didn't is because my font right now is set at 300 points, which is way bigger than the box I made. So let's make it 100. See if that makes a difference. And I got a little bit there. We'll drag it down a little bit more.
Hey.
And what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a copyright real quick. And the fastest way to do that on a Mac is Option G. Option G will give you the copyright symbol, I hope. Option G. And I want to get rid of, I'm going to get rid of everything on here. Command A, delete, Option G.
No, those are undies. Tushma. Tushma.
Mama, is this a bathing suit?
Those are undies. I don't want you touching those.
Okay, if somebody could mute,
Wow.
if you could mute yourself, the person with the kids in the background, that would be really cool.
Art, you need to mute yourself.
I can't mute him for some reason.
How do I do that? Okay.
Lower left corner.
There you go. You got it. Perfect. Okay. Type in back in here again. COLLINS. Way too big. Let's go down. Command A. Go to 20 point. There we go. Go to Colin's photo. And we click OK. And I'm going to put this right smack dab in the middle. So I'm going to use my V for move. Move this in the middle right here. And now I've got my logo across there. But wait, I don't want to see that across there. So let's go to Effects, FX. Let's put a nice drop shadow on there. And with the drop shadow, once you're in the drop shadow tool, you can drag your drop shadow anywhere you want it to go. Or you can use this critter right here to decide the angle that you want it. You can do the distance there, but why bother? Just go ahead and do it like that. And we have a nice drop shadow. You're still pretty offensive looking at my name there, isn't it? Go up to blending options. If I change the opacity, everything goes away. So I'll leave the opacity up. If I change the fill opacity, then all I have is my logo or my drop shadow. Let's go back to drop shadow again. And just move it just a hair. And there you can have a transparent logo across your image. You don't want a drop shadow? Let's do outer glow. That works as well. And you can bring the opacity down on that, the total opacity, but my fill opacity is still down at 0. If I drag my fill opacity up, it goes up there. My regular opacity, it just has a slight logo across the image. I don't like that. Let me change that. Just double click on the outer glow in your layers panel and you can change the color so it's more part of the image. And I don't know if you can see it on your screen, but just changing the color did that. Double click on outer glow, color, we'll go to white again so you can see it. Boom. Change it to blue. And it just barely shows up as a blue. So when somebody steals your image, you can bring this up, look at it, and go, yep, that's my image. And I have had people steal images before. Not nice. On a PC, to do the copyright symbol, like on a Mac, it's Option G. On a PC, it's Alt and the numbers 0169. 0169. With the Alt key will give you the copyright symbol. Okay. And let's bring our effects back up again.
What about ones that you see that are at an angle and there's like 30 of them going across the image that really, you can see the image, but you can't do anything with it because if you print it, you show Holland's photo all over it.
You can copy that layer. So let's go ahead and change our fill opacity again, outer glow. Let's change it to white so it shows up more. And opacity down to 0. Oops, wrong one. Blending mode. Opacity to 0, fill opacity we'll leave up. Okay, where did you go? Blending options, fill 100, opacity. It just disappeared. Okay, let's do this. Well, smart 'em. Stroke, white, okay. There we go. I turned down the wrong one. I turned down opacity. Wow, something's going on here. Welcome to Photoshop.
Hey, Michael,
Yes.
I think one of the things that they do to do what she's talking about is make a brush and simply.
You make a pattern. Yeah, you can make a pattern. I'm just trying to get, there we go, get my, okay, something is going on here. Reset. Cancel. Delete. Text. Option G. Collins. Photo. OK. Add an effect. Blending options. Let's try drop shadow. And it shows up. Okay, that's a good thing. Blending options, take opacity, fill opacity down to 0. We have blending options. Change that to white. There we go. Wow. For some reason, it wanted to fight me. There's a couple different ways to do this. Number one is Command J. Command J. Command J. And just drag those all over the place. You can put them in a group. So select them all, Command G to put them in a group. And now you can move them all at once. You can change the opacity. You can change the fill. There's all kinds of things you can do. You can create a pattern to put these across there and just put the pattern in your library. And every time you're ready to put it on, you just drag it on there and boom, you have your logo going across the whole thing. And it's just enough so they can't print it, but they can see what's going on there. Any questions on that one? Probably need to do it like 10 times again because it screwed up so many times.
Practice makes perfect.
Yeah, except when you're showing it, and then when you show it, it doesn't work. You can also add just a stroke around your text. So let's put a text on there. And we'll say, Mike no good. Return it. Put a stroke on there. Stroke, 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 stroke. Stroke used to be at the bottom a long, long time ago, and I still always go to the bottom looking for it. And then blending options, we'll change the fill opacity down to 0. Stroke was way too thick. So let's knock it down. 3 pixels is good. There you go. And you can do all kinds of cool stuff with that. So if I decide I want to, whoops, hit escape, Command T to make it bigger. And hold the Option key and it goes all the way out. I don't like that command. This says Mike is no good. So let me go in there. No, no. Mike good. Mike good. Okay, let's get rid of that layer of text. And when I've been doing text before, what I did was just drag my box out from the top left to the bottom right. That's how I normally do it. But in this particular case, hit escape, get rid of that. If I start in the middle, hold my Option key, it will drag outward. So if you hold the Option key and drag at an angle, it will drag your text box outward. If you hold the Shift key, it will keep it constrained to a square. So it won't do a rectangle, it'll do a square. So like without any keys holding it, I can do a rectangle. Change that, go away. I can hold my Shift key and do a perfect square right in the middle. So that all your text is going to be constrained to the square. Or you can hold the Option key and it will go outward from the middle. So it's equal sides. And you can see I have a purple line in the middle there. That's showing where the middle is. So I'm good to go there.
Can you make a text box with a shape?
There is a way to do that, but I don't know how. I've never done that. Probably using a path. But I've never done that before.
Okie dokie.
Let me try a circle and then put my text in there. I don't know if that'll work or not. Start at the top. Nope, didn't work. It was worth a shot. I always experiment and try different things as I'm playing just to see if I can do it. It doesn't always work, but I try anyway.
Michael, isn't there another text tool underneath the text, the T, that is for placing it on a selection or a line?
With the text tool, and I don't know why mine is in the trash area, you have vertical text and you have horizontal text. I'm not sure there's another one. There's a vertical type mask tool. So what I can do is type Mikey and it made a mask or it made a selection based on that type. That's available in there, but just the regular type tool doesn't have any of that. Not that I'm aware of anyway.
On the command line up at the top, there's a T with a semicircle on it, which is to warp text.
You can warp it, yes. So let's, Mikey, and you can go down and do all kinds of these warps. And you can play with them. So you can play with the warp tool up there as well. In fact, let's make this a little bit bigger. Command T, make it a little bit bigger so we can see it. Return, and then go up to the warp. And then pick the warp that you want to play with. Move it off to the side so you can see. I mean, there's all kinds of cool things you can do with it. And
Under the type option, or on the, what follow image, et cetera, under type, there's a create work path and then also convert to shape. I think those are some of the ways that you can have it follow a path.
on the path tool or on the type tool?
Type, one of the options underneath it is create work path. And then I believe it will follow the path.
Okay.
So long ago, I haven't done it in probably 4 or 5 years. So.
Whoa, go away. I'm not seeing that, so. You can also go into 3D with the text tool as well. I'm not going to go to 3D text tool because I guess I am. Changed my mind. I don't want 3D. Go away. Thank you. There's all kinds of things you can do. Just play with it and figure out what you want to do with it. And have a good time with it. Those are the basics on the run-of-the-mill text tool, which most of you probably already knew, but I thought I'd throw it out there for you anyway.
Michael, click on your text tool again over in the toolbar so I can see what's in there.
On my toolbar?
Yeah, just.
For some reason, it's not in my toolbar right now, which is weird. But
So
I have
how
all.
come you have all of those different? Oh, I see what that is. You've got all you've got them all listed. Never mind. I was wondering why all that stuff was there, but I know why it's there. I thought you had a bunch of other text choices. Okay.
Yeah. Why is my text tool way down there now? Zoom tool. Horizontal type tool should be, there it is. Okay. For some reason, it ended up getting out in the middle of nowhere. Edit toolbar. Okay.
It's also up above.
Well, yeah, I have in here, I have horizontal type mask tool, all my different other text tools that I never use. But right up here is where my text tool is. And I've only got one text tool up there. I don't have my horizontal. I have my horizontal. I don't have my vertical text tool up there. It's in the toolbar off to the side, like my paint bucket tool, background eraser tool, all those. So that's that. Okay? It's all right. It's all right. Any other questions? Preguntas? Nothing? Let me stop the recording.